I said, this show is a prime example of how fame and money can ruin people. And the fact that all of these kids, we have to remember that these are kids, these are teenagers, they were all like 16, 17, 18 years old. They were young, okay? We gotta remember that that is why a lot of the kids end up making stupid decisions, by the way, but it's also a result of bad writing. It was just weird to me. Noah's line, Justin, the anti-me, could have went somewhere in action. It could have been a plot line. I agree. Noah is a very, they could have did so much more with Noah's character. Like, I felt like this show was trying to do a Phineas and Ferb type thing. Total Drama, I noticed that the more it went on, because y'all know how Total Drama is like a Canadian show. Like, we know this is Canada. The more Total Drama went on, the more you could tell that they were trying to cater to like the American audience. And I felt like them doing that singing stuff was to cater more to American shows, because a lot of American shows have like a lot of songs in them. Hey you guys, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hello and welcome to or welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. Remember, I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate, because you want to know why? Nobody is worthy of being the first mate. Hello, is this your first time ever seeing me? Hello, my name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, we're doing the unpopular opinions video. I love watching unpopular opinions videos all the time. I just love reading people's unpopular opinions in general, the ones that aren't ignorant though, because some people be using unpopular opinions as an excuse to be racist and homophobic and transphobic, and no, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. So I went on Twitter and I asked you guys to give me your unpopular opinions on Total Drama, and I'm gonna sit here and respond to them. And if this goes great, I am gonna be reacting to more unpopular opinions in the future. I am gonna film 2 more unpopular opinion videos after I do this one. I'm tired. Today's the only day I can film. But yeah, before we get started, I just want to show y'all my wall. Isn't that cute? We got Jasmine as Uraka, we got Huey as Deku, and we have Riley as Bakugo. These two, I'm just so obsessed with them because y'all know I love the Boondocks, and I recently just got into My Hero Academia. This is some My Hero fan art that I bought. I bought this from Alex Oval. He worked on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Super Duper Mice Man. I forgot who did this piece right up here, but it's basically Uraka who's darker. This is Noodle. Had this poster for years and it's good on Mulan. I just wanted to show you guys my poster since I have it in all my new videos, but I just want to stand for today's. So let's go ahead and get started. And by the way, I have not looked at any of these unpopular opinions, so I wanted to make sure my opinions on these were more authentic in a sense. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Oh yeah, these are gonna be anonymous, but like certain people I love on here. So hey Kev, I don't think the new series is gonna be a serve. I feel like it's gonna be reply to too much political humor. Like, I fear we're gonna get a cancel culture episode, and I think they're gonna try doing what's relevant instead of what young people like in their early days. By earlier days, I mean the first season and how they interviewed the teens. Okay, I get where he's coming from. Let me make sure your pronouns are he. Okay, yeah, I got that good. But I get where he's coming from right there. I personally don't think the new series is gonna be great. I even said this when they announced that they were gonna be adding 2 more seasons of Total Drama, and I was like, okay, but this show already has a lot of issues. This show is a product of its time, and not gonna lie, what made Total Drama so great is that it was a product of its time. Okay, it reeked the mess that we saw on television, reality television, in the mid to late 2000s, and even television, like reality television in the 2010s. Okay, who knows? Okay, who knows how this new Total Drama is gonna be? But I do feel like they are gonna be trying to keep up with the trends nowadays, because a lot of shows that do focus on kids for whatnot, they are trying to stay trendy, and a lot of that shit gets on my nerves. Like, that's one thing I cannot stand about Amphibia, is that it's a serve, but like when they try to, it's so obvious that it's like 40-year-olds and 30-year-olds writing jokes about how they think teenagers act and how they think teenagers talk about like social media and things like that. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of that in the new one. Okay, I was excited for it, and then I remembered that like the original wasn't all that great when it came to like representation, but we gave it a pass in the past for total drama not really having great representation because of, you know, it being a product of its time. Okay, but total drama just has a lot of issues in general, so I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that right there. I'm gonna move into the next one. The homophobic stuff aged in like milk. It did. It most definitely did. Okay, not, oh Jesus, talk, like I said, total drama, like, because we were all talking about how we were honestly scared for total drama to come back, because we were like, is it gonna still be racist, homophobic, and transphobic stuff and fatphobic stuff in it? Like, we were legit worried about that, and people want to use those excuses talking about total drama is a show about stereotypes, that's why it's okay for them to do this. No, it's not. It's still offensive. Okay, a stereotype is having the jock, the cheerleader, the smart girl. Like, that's that, not the big sassy black woman who will slap anybody in the room. Like that, no. It's not the same thing. Like, the homophobic and the stuff in the show really did age like milk, along with the other ignorant stuff in here. Okay. Okay, let's go. Trent was never a good love interest for Gwen. In fact, Gwen never had a good visible love interest at all. Trent was just an obnoxious indie boy, and Duncan doesn't read as well as Gwen's type. Ironically, the only character Gwen had romantic chemistry with was Courtney. I hard disagree. I'm sorry. I was Trent. I can see where you're coming from with Gwen did having chemistry with Courtney. I see that. It's there. Her and Duncan, no, her and Duncan were better as friends, but Trent and Gwen genuinely did like each other. Their first season like romance was just so beautiful. It's honestly one of the best romances that I've seen of two teenagers in general on television. I really love Trent and Gwen's like romance, but I can see where you're coming from, because he did end up not being a good love interest for her, and that just had to do with the writers just writing him terribly. Like, so I get where you are coming from, but it's just like, I love me some Trent and Gwen. I shipped them so hard. I literally cried when I had to rewatch Total Drama, and just seeing like the downfall of their relationship and how it just didn't end well. It's just bad writing. DJ peaked in Island. Hard agree. I did not like DJ in World Tour whatsoever. DJ was great in the first season, but then after that he just kind of became not bland, but it was just like, okay, this little nice dude, scaredy everything thing gotta go, DJ. I can't do it no more. I can't. World Tour is overhyped. Okay, it's overhyped for a reason. Because I think World Tour, it's my favorite season, okay? And a lot of people argue that World Tour is the best season. World Tour is my favorite season, but it's them songs, y'all. There was so much stuff about World Tour that I didn't like, because I didn't like what they did with Bridgette's arc. I didn't like what they did with a lot of other characters' arcs too. Like, y'all know how they ended up making, you know, how Heather got redeemed in this season 2. It's like I get where you say World Tour is overhyped, because it's like they kind of did like a reversal. Like, the characters, how they acted in the first season felt completely different than how they did in World Tour. And I get it, these kids were growing up, they were changing and whatnot, but World Tour, I thought it was great, but it's just, it didn't really feel consistent in a sense. Oh, okay, I like this one right here. The female character designs weren't varied enough. Outside of the over-sexualization, the female character designs weren't fun, distinctive, or diverse in shape, language as the male characters. Total Drama, in my opinion, I get where you're coming from, but a lot of the girls did look very similar. I do gotta admit, okay? I really do love the girls' character designs. I love Lindsay's design. I love Bridgette's design. I love Izzy's design. But it's like they use kind of like the same model for a lot of the girls, and then they made some girls taller than others and some girls shorter than others. Like, the only different body types we really saw were like Sadie and Leshawna and Beth. I get where you are coming from with that. While the female character designs are very pretty, a lot of the girls just kind of look like copy paste always different colorations of each other, while the boys look way more different. Because somebody was showing me a picture of Dawn, I think it was, and I was like, why does Dawn look like off-brand Bridgette? Like, they just kind of remodeled a lot of the girls after one another, so I understand where you're coming from in this sense. They all should have had at least one more season where all the original cast were competitors again, and Sierra, Alejandro, Blaniely could have joined them too. I agree. Okay, and the main reason why a lot of people stopped watching Total Drama, like how I stopped watching it, is because they got rid of the original cast. And a lot of us, I didn't want to take the time to get to know new people. I'm sorry, okay? It'd been one thing if Total Drama had a different cast in the second season, and then every season from then on out they had a new cast. But no, they did the same 3 casts for the first time, and then they brought a few new characters here and there. We didn't mind that. Like, I kid you not, when you talk about Total Drama, most of the time, everybody is talking about the characters from the first 3 seasons, okay? Like, the other seasons later on, a lot of people didn't watch them because they didn't have the original characters. And I feel like the main reason why, they ended up getting a lot of new characters in Total Drama anyway, is because the people behind the show didn't know what to do with the original ones no more, okay? It always just comes down to that. Bad writing. They didn't know what to do no more with these characters. They kept flanderizing them. They kept changing their personalities. Like, it was honestly getting annoying. So I get why they ended up making a whole bunch of new characters with new storylines and new settings and whatnot. But it's just... Y'all could have did so much stuff with the old people. Like... Okay, Courtney changed after she got her elimination in character. Her unfair exit essentially broke her spirits, and she took her emotions out of the game and became a cut-through competitor. With time, she opened herself back up to Gwen and Duncan, which made her betrayal extra cruel. I have so many. I'm gonna make a whole entire video, y'all, by the way, about Courtney, because I really don't like what they did with her character. Like I mentioned before, how Courtney in season 1, she was annoying, but like she was still likable enough for you to root for her. But the qualities about her that, you know, made Courtney's character great, they took those and then they put those on 10. They just made Courtney unbearable. Like, the only time, because everybody was talking about a Total Drama character that they hated, and everybody said Courtney after season 1, and I hardly agree. Like, I couldn't stand Courtney after season 1. She was unbearable. So I get what y'all saying right there. I really don't like how they ruined Courtney's character. Whew. 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 I've always found it incredibly mean-spirited. I'm not using that as a buzzword, but that's one of the reasons why I can never get into the show. Yeah, this show could be... Okay, the main reason this show like is like that, because teenagers are mean. The show's about teenagers, and teenagers are mean, but it didn't really bother me when like the teenagers would be mean to each other, because those like the kids being mean to each other. But it bothered me when it would be Chris and Chef being mean to each other. Like Chef even fought one of the kids one time. Like, he fought Izzy. Chris was just weird. He's just a weirdo. I just don't like Chris McLean, okay? Somebody actually sent in one about Chris McLean. Having Chris McLean get more sadistic, uncaring, and flat out insane in the later seasons was unneeded, to be honest. Like, yeah, even in season 1, he was all that, but it was realistic to the point of him having a heart and still thinking. And still, I think he legit lost it from his obsession with views and fame. Chris, in my opinion, when you look at it from like a more serious perspective, Chris is a character that, you know, the main reason for his downfall is because he got obsessed with money and he got obsessed with fame, okay? Those are 2 things that literally be the biggest downfalls for a lot of these celebrities, money and fame. And Chris is just, in my opinion, is a great example of that, okay? I think it honestly makes sense why his character got worse as the show progressed, because a lot of celebrities get worse as they're in the industry a lot longer because of how it's ruining them. But Chris was like always bad from the beginning. I never really liked Chris for the most part. I think he's the most unredeemable character in this show. I never liked Chris. He was never a good... Because the main reason we see in Total Drama is how the games really did ruin a lot of the characters. Like, a lot of the characters didn't act like that until they went to the games. Like Bridgette, for example, and Gwen. Like, a lot of these people were decent people before they came to the television show. Like, this Total Drama is really interesting to see. you see how fame and money ruins these people, and I think Chris was the worst at it. Courtney and Duncan deserved each other. Courtney and Duncan give me a headache. Owen is very overused and annoying. No, I don't like Owen. Owen, he's like Ruckus and Lila. Like, y'all know Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks and Lila from Miraculous Ladybug? That's what Owen is. I can only handle him in doses. Like, too much of him was just not it. I wish Owen got eliminated quicker in the first season because he was just there for me too much. Like, he was just annoying.
Last time that I saw you, it was heaven. You said that you got off around 7. I guess that I'm just a fool. The marks on your face leaves me to stomp and face. I don't know where you've been and why your hair is.
I know you're tired of having crusty ass lips. Wearing a mask all the time gives you no excuse. Head over to harriyannahook.com. Oh, you don't want that? Well, she has a bunch of other things to choose from. Don't worry. Pick yourself up something super cute because you're like super cute and stuff.
You guys sent in some really good ones. I thought y'all were gonna be sending me stuff talking about the show's not racist and homophobic. That's how I know I got good followers. I got good people on the pirate ship. Oh, it should have been all white characters. And I asked them to explain this one, but I get what they were saying. Yeah, Total Drama does a poor job when it comes to, not only does the show have a lot of misogyny problems, but the show poorly portrays people of color. Like, I heard that it got better towards the end of the show's run, but the show, it treats people of color so badly. I get it. I get where you were coming from right here. Season 2 was bad. Oh no, season 2 was atrocious, okay? Total Drama Action, it makes no sense why the second season of that show was that terrible. Usually second seasons of shows are where the show gets better. No, it honestly was freaking atrocious, okay? It was not good, y'all. Total Drama Action was not good. And I was so mad how, like, that used to be the only season you could watch for a while, like on Netflix. Like, at one point, Netflix removed, like, a lot of the other seasons, but Action was still there to watch for some reason. Total Drama Action is terrible, y'all. I rewatched it this year from when I made my video about LeShawna. That's a hard skip for me, okay? That season right there is a hard skip. The only episodes in Total Drama Action that I recommend are the Aftermath episodes. After that, don't watch nothing else. They're just not good. They're just not good. Sierra and Cody's arc in season 3 was honestly really bad. I agree, okay? That arc was just sexual harassment. That Cody and Sierra's arc, it's not cute. And the thing about it is that, like, I feel like the reason why they got away with Sierra and Cody's arc is because Sierra was the one harassing him and she was a girl and he was a boy. And I feel like if it was the other way around, it most likely wouldn't have happened. I don't like how this show had a woman harassing a man and it was portrayed off as comedical. It's not funny. It was not. I feel bad for Cody, and it's sad because nobody really did anything to help Cody. Like, I remember somebody made a meme about it on Tumblr, how leshawna, Gwen, and Heather would see Sierra bothering Cody and none of them did anything about it. Like, Also, the writers in this show don't know how to write women, but... Oh, this is a very interesting one. To be fair, Sharpay isn't a villain, neither is Heather. I get where you were coming from right here. One thing I can't stand when it comes to, you know, the people of social media is that a lot of the times when they try to say a villain wasn't evil, 9 times out of 10 they are white, okay? People be trying to say that Regina George is not a villain, Blair Waldorf is not a villain, Sharpay is not a villain, okay? But everybody's so quick to point out how Heather is a villain too. And when you think about it, Heather was no worse than Regina, she was no worse than Sharpay, and she was no worse than Blair. But because Heather is a girl of color, because Heather is Asian, everybody want to come down her throat about her not being innocent. And I don't nearly see that many people making up excuses for Heather as they do Sharpay, Blair, and what's the other girl? Sharpay, Blair, and Regina. So I get where you're coming from there. Like, if y'all want to say that Sharpay's not a villain, that Heather isn't either, okay? But both of these girls are villains, okay? Gwen is actually annoying. My bottom 3 characters, I don't agree. I love me. Gwen could carry a show. Say what y'all want about Gwen, but she could carry a show, okay? Gwen, I can get why people don't like her though, because sometimes she could come off across as I'm not like other girls in a sense. So I get why y'all don't like Gwen, but dang, y'all mean. Owen is one of the worst characters in total drama. I agree. I don't. Owen basically, you know how the show is basically kind of like based on stereotypes. You know, he's basically just the fat kid stereotype too. But Owen honestly was just really annoying. He didn't really do much for me. The thing about Owen is that I don't hate him, but I also don't like him either. He's just kind of there for me. I just kind of ignore him for the most part. I could only handle Owen in doses, like, cause he was just really irritating. Owen, I feel like Owen was like a, you know how you have like a production favorite and then you have like a fan favorite. I feel like Owen was a production favorite. Like the people who worked on the show, all of them really liked Owen, but the fans, he was not a fan favorite. Because a lot of people were talking about they don't get how Owen stayed around for so long, but certain characters like, you know, Noah weren't there all that much as Owen was. And I was like, that's because Noah was a fan favorite. Owen was more of a production favorite. That's why he was there so much. But they should have really taken into account on which characters they liked the most and which ones they didn't. Because a lot of people really didn't like Owen, but they kept putting him there. Like, no, we could have saw more Geoff instead of Owen, please. Okay, I gotta go one. Cody could have been used more, but then again, a lot of people could have been used more. Wasted characters, and the ones that get focused on with no personality, Harold and LeShawna were the best couple, I think, because they never done anything officially besides complaints. I didn't really like Harold and LeShawna all that much. It just didn't really do nothing for me with Harold and LeShawna. Like, it was kind of cute, but then after a while it felt like a black girl, white boy fetishing a black girl. That's why I didn't really like Harold and LeShawna like that. And the thing about Cody, I didn't really like Cody. Cody was a fan favorite though. I was aware that Cody was a lot of the fans' favorite. Cody just was not my cup of tea. Cody was just not my cup of tea. I just could not. I don't know. Cody just does nothing for me. I don't really have much to say about his character. Like, he could be pervy. I don't know. I just don't care about him. Noah's line, Justin, the anti-me, could have went somewhere in action. It could have been a plot line. I agree. Noah is they could have did so much more with Noah's character. Like, I love how Noah is a fan favorite, but he was not a production favorite. That's why we didn't really get to see much of Noah, because he wasn't the favorite when it came to like the crew. I know they ended up bringing him back. I know he was in Redonkulous Race. But in the early 3 seasons, there wasn't enough Noah for my liking. They could have done so much more fun stuff with Noah, but they just didn't. First 6 winners, Beth played the best winning game. As much as I love the season 3 winners, they were technically voted out. Season 3, honestly, it's my favorite season. I get that. I get why people say it's overhyped and whatnot, but it's just kind of like a good person didn't win, and I can get why people were frustrated with that. But the main reason Heather and Alejandro lasted that long, in the most part, is because they made good television, okay? I think part of the reason why Beth didn't last, like, a lot of people didn't like Beth, because I didn't really care too much for Beth either. I thought she was really annoying. In season 2, Beth, and season 1 too, in general, like, why season 2 was just whack as hell. The finalists, they didn't make good TV. Beth didn't just really make good TV for me. She did play the game very well, but she didn't have like the it factor like the other characters had, because she could come off as really irritating. Oh, okay. I like this one. The way DJ was handled in World Tour became very irritated. IMO. Especially the whole animal curse arc and world tour. The amount of times he fumbled parts of the challenges got old real quick, and the whole accidentally injuring animals thing was just weird. It really was weird. I don't like how this show uses animal cruelty as a joke. Like, that's not funny for the most part. Total Drama, in my opinion, there's a lot of stuff about Total Drama that's just not funny now that I think about it. And a lot of the jokes about animals getting hurt don't sit well with me. Like, I remember one time, like, I'm pretty sure it was like a bunny or something that caught on fire because it was so hot outside. Like, it's weird stuff. Like a lot of Total Drama just didn't age well, and that whole thing about DJ hurting animals, it just didn't sit well with me. Especially how he was a character that just loved animals. I really just don't like what they did with DJ in general in that season. They could have done more with Ezekiel. Did they do what they did because he wasn't interested or the least favorite? Or how did Chris get away with the teenage boy disappearing from his family? You know what? That was weird though, to be honest, like what they did with Ezekiel, and just to be honest, what they did with all the kids in general. Total Drama is just interesting because we see how fame and money ruin these kids. And Ezekiel, I think he got it the worst. Like, he didn't even look the same no more. Like, You on my page? Just this show, it felt like they just liked making fun of Ezekiel. You can tell they didn't really know what to do with him in the beginning because, you know, he got booted out so early, and then it just became like a running gag of them just, you know, making fun of Ezekiel. Total Drama action wasn't terrible. I hard disagree. It was awful. The World Tour soundtrack is very hit or miss. I agree. The songs in Total Drama World Tour were not good. A lot of I think they were supposed to be bad on purpose. I get that because, you know, the show is a comedy. I get the comedic effect. And this show was going on at the same time as like Phineas and Ferb like came into like popularity, so I get that. But like a lot of the songs, even though they were supposed to be sung badly on purpose, a lot of the songs just weren't good songs. Like, they weren't even funny, they were just annoying. I like this one. Some of the best characters are the ones with the least screen time, or the ones who had a major role in 1 or 2 seasons, because they're the ones that got the least flanderized. The Total Drama characters are already all stereotypes, so flanderization was deadly. I strongly agree. In my opinion, I think Bridgette was one of the best characters, and we didn't see enough of her. Okay, I like how they brought her in the aftermath and stuff like that, but it's like after like season 3, and then she made like a few appearances like later on. I literally just watched those episodes that she was in. We didn't see her no more. Like, and I like the characters, I think, like I said, the characters with the least amount of screen time. I really like Lindsay. I really like Tyler. I noticed that when I look at my favorite characters from Total Drama, they're the ones that weren't really around all that much, okay? Like, one thing that always kind of annoyed me with Total Drama is that I felt like they could have done so much better with Katie and Sadie's characters, but it's just obvious that they didn't know what to do with them. They were just there as known as like the best friends. They follow each other everywhere. They're super duper close. They even wear the same outfits, okay? That's all that was to like Katie and Sadie's characters. And then they cried when they were like apart from each other. Like, you know, the entire thing about how Katie and Sadie were like on different teams, and then they threw a fit about that. That was just annoying. I feel like they could have done something more with that. They didn't really do too much with Ava's character. I didn't really like Ava to begin with, but a lot of the characters, in my opinion, were very like underused. Like, Bridgette and Geoff are two that really got on my nerves when it came to like them being underused in the first 3 seasons. I think season 1 did both of their characters justice. With season 2 and 3, I hate how their only personality was that they became the annoying teen couple that nobody wants to sit next to at lunchtime because they're either making out or arguing. Like, I don't like how they did that to them. This is weird because I love Bridgette, I love Geoff, but I didn't like them together. Like, I didn't like them together. It's so weird. Like, I think Bridgette and Geoff are both great characters, but just because you like 2 characters like each other don't mean they should be together, okay? No. Like, I felt like Bridgette and Geoff were kind of like right person, wrong time, if that makes sense. Because they were cute. I'm not gonna lie, they were cute, but like just the time being, it just like wasn't good. I felt like Bridget and Geoff really needed to mature with their relationship, because I love Bridget, but she could be very immature sometimes, and just like her boyfriend. The thing about it is that a lot of Geoff's immaturity rubbed off on her. Like he kind of ruined her a little bit. Like Bridget and Geoff's entire situation was just weird to me. I felt like they could have done so much more with them. As I was saying before my camera rudely cut me off, I felt like Bridget and Geoff, they could have done so much more with them, but they just kind of like resulted to them being a couple. And I see that's where y'all get like the flanderization thing right there. I'm sorry y'all, this fake nose piercing, it keeps sliding down and it hurts. Yeah, this show was really bad. The thing about it is that I wouldn't really say the show did a lot of flanderization. They did like a lot of ruining characters, if that makes sense. Like they would, like Trent, like season 2 Trent did not feel like season 1 Trent. Season 3 Bridget did not feel like season 1 Bridget. They ruined a lot of characters. I don't like how they turned Bridget into a bitch, like, because she was not a bitch in season 1. It was just weird. But like I said, I feel like that's the reason why Total Drama ended up bringing in so many new characters later on. And then they brought a whole bunch of new characters later on after that. It's because they were running out of things to do with them. Gwen was in the wrong when it came to Duncan and Courtney. Hell, even their relationship went to shit in season 2. But the fact that she acknowledged that they were boyfriend and girlfriend in season 2 and 3 and still kissed him when singing All Stars, but weren't dating at the time, also had said I kissed her BF. I do blame the writers for their inconsistency, but the fact that people are glossing over the fact that Gwen had acknowledged multiple times that Courtney and Duncan were together and they tried to play crazy is weird. I agree. Like I said, it just, as the show progressed, certain characters end up getting worse, because Gwen would not have done that in season 1. But like I said, this show is a prime example of how fame and money can ruin people. And the fact that all of these kids, we have to remember that these are kids, these are teenagers, they were all like 16, 17, 18 years old. They were young, okay? We gotta remember that that is why a lot of the kids end up making stupid decisions, by the way, but it's also a result of bad writing. It was just weird to me. Like, Gwen was extremely wrong, and I really didn't like how they were making Gwen go down the homewrecker like type thing, because she wouldn't even do that in season 1. Like, she saw that, she thought she was getting cheated on in season 1. You saw how much that hurt her, and that showed you right there that she wouldn't have done that. But I don't, yeah, like I said, I blame the writers for their inconsistency. And Gwen did, like, I feel like when a lot of people are talking about they hated Gwen, I feel like they talked about how they started to hate her when it came to like the Duncan and Courtney situation. But it just, a lot of the stuff Gwen started to do, it started to slowly make sense, because a lot of the characters that we thought were neutrally good people, like Bridget, they all ended up starting doing stupid stuff. And money and fame had to do with why they were acting that way. Okay, oh, this was fun. Blaniely was actually really fun addition to World Tour and very overhated. I love to hate Blaniely, okay? The reason Blaniely was there is because Blaniely wasn't even her name. I forgot. But the main reason Blaniely was there is because she made good television. She was interesting. Blaniely was the new Heather. Okay, like Blaniely was the new Heather. She was supposed to be the character that you love to hate, okay? I didn't like Blaniely, but I loved her being in the show because she made the show entertaining, okay? And then Blaniely ended up being like old or something. Like, Blaniely was fun. I didn't like how they did a lot, like some fat phobic stuff with her about how she's always sucking at her gut and she's actually bigger than what she looks like and she's squeezing. I didn't like that though. But for the most part, Blaniely was just a lot of fun. She brought the drama to Total Drama. Okay, this one's funny. Katie and Sadie were in love and also better than everyone else. I get where you're coming from with that. I get where you're coming from. Were they better than everyone else? No, because like I said, outside of like being each other's best friends, they didn't do much of anything. They weren't all that interesting. They were annoying. They just didn't know what to do with Katie and Sadie. Like, it's just bad writing. They didn't know what to do with them. Oh, you guys left a lot, okay? Most of my unpopular opinions are the ones about the later scenes. Dang. Okay. Sorry, but I guess I prefer Beth winning action over Duncan because, well, Lindsay and Harold would have been the superior option winners. I'll take Beth over a guy who was a relentless bully all season. I agree. Like, even though I didn't really like Beth all that much, I found her kind of annoying. Duncan, I also didn't like him either. Duncan was just he was a bitch. I didn't like Duncan. I really did not like him. Everyone loves him. That's a real unpopular opinion. I don't like Duncan whatsoever. He was just, I don't want to call him a delinquent because I feel like people be using that term so loosely. Even though he was labeled as like the delinquent, he honestly wasn't even a nice person. He wasn't a good person. He was really rude. He was really annoying. So many people just saw him, was like, oh, my broken emo boy, he didn't mean it like that. He don't know how to be mean. No, it's like, okay, Duncan, honestly, the way people treat Duncan is kind of like the way they treat Bakugo. But I like Bakugo a lot better than Duncan though, because we actually see that there's a lot more depth to Bakugo's character. But Duncan is just the dickhead. Like, I don't like him. Like, I think the main reason I don't like Duncan is because he did like my favorite characters dirty. Like, I mentioned that before. Like, I wasn't really feeling Duncan because I don't like what he did to Bridgette and Geoff, and those are like two of my favorite characters. I didn't really like that. And the thing about it is, like, Duncan made great television. Like, Duncan was really entertaining. That's why he was there for so long. That's why we saw him so much in this television show. It's obvious he was a fan favorite, but he was also a production favorite too. That's why we just saw so much of him. But honestly, the more the show went on, the more I started to dislike Duncan because the worse he even got. Like, he even made like some transphobic comments too that were like really off-putting for me. Like, I just really didn't like it. Courtney deserved better. Her character was flanderized. I strongly agree. One day I will make that video just talking about the mess that was Courtney's character. Okay, because okay. This is the last one, and then I might give like some of my own unpopular opinions. So Harold and leshawna made a better couple than most of the others on the show. Justin was an antagonist and okay, this is 3 or 1. Harold and leshawna made a better couple than most of the others in the show. Harold and leshawna, the main reason people liked them as a couple is because they weren't together. When couples on this television show got together, that's when they got the worst, okay? The reason people like Harold and leshawna so much is because they weren't officially dating. That's why so many people liked them so much. Okay, moving on from that one. Justin as an antagonist in action felt kind of forced. I strongly agree. Justin is a character that I just didn't really like because we always knew Justin as like the pretty boy of the show. He was the model. He was labeled as like the hot dude. It was annoying because y'all know in the first season he was just kind of there. He was just quiet. But then the second season I felt like it was just really lazy because they realized they didn't know what to do with Justin, and they was like, oh, instead of actually giving us some depth to his character, let's just flat out make him the villain. And that's exactly what it felt when it came to Justin. They just was like, okay, we see we have this character right here. We can't do nothing much with Duncan because everybody knows how he is. We don't want to have Owen around for that long. We don't want to have Heather around for that long. Why don't we use Justin and make him the bad guy, Chun-Li? That's literally what it feels like. It's just bad writing. It's just bad writing. Total drama action is bad for a lot of reasons, and that is one of them. I really just did not like the villain of this season. He just was not it. Along with how they did Courtney too. Okay, the songs on World Tour, I mentioned this one already. Songs on World Tour are very hit or miss. I agree. It felt like this show was trying to do a Phineas and Ferb type thing. Total Drama, I noticed that the more it went on, because y'all know how Total Drama is like a Canadian show. Like, we know this is Canada. The more Total Drama went on, the more you could tell that they were trying to cater to like the American audience. And I felt like them doing that singing stuff was to cater more to American shows, because a lot of American shows have like a lot of songs in them. Like, when you go and look at all like the like cartoons out here that have like American cartoons, they have like a lot of songs in them too. I think that's why they started doing that. But for the most part, that is it. Those are all you guys' unpopular opinions. If you like this video, you want to see more of me reacting to you guys' unpopular opinions, hit that thumbs up. This is fun. I really like this. I think I'm going to do more of these. I am going to film 2 more unpopular opinion videos after this, and then I'm just going to leave it at rest. You guys would like to see more of me and want to support me, hit me on my Patreon. Most expensive tier is $5. The cheapest is $1. The link to that will be down below. I also have a buy me a coffee and a Ko-fi link for donations down below. I also have merch at harriyannahook.com. New collection coming out this Black Friday. Super duper excited for that. You can get both of these necklaces right here. Everybody know that I love gold jewelry, okay? What else do I do? I have a web series called The Progenies. The Progenies is a Descendants fan series, and we really want you guys to watch and support us on that. So I will have the link to that down below. And also, if you guys want to support me on AO3, Wattpad, Tumblr, what's my one, Instagram, Twitter, I will have the link to those down below. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.
Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world.